Which is the best S&P 500 ETF to invest in? Is it CSPX or SPYL? And which is the cheapest broker to use? Is it Interactive Brokers, which charges a super low fee, or FSMOne, which charges 0% fee when you use their regular savings plan? In this video, I'll be comparing all these so that you will know which is the best option to save as much money as possible when investing into the S&P 500. Let's go! Alright, this is a comparison of some of the most popular S&P 500 ETFs that you can invest in. I know this looks super complicated, but the most important rule that you need to pay attention to is where are these ETFs domiciled at, because this will affect how much taxes you'll be paying every year. If you are from a country that doesn't have a tax treaty with the US like Singapore and Malaysia, you will definitely want to go with ETFs that are domiciled in Ireland. Here's why. First, you will get to enjoy a lower 15% withholding tax on your dividends instead of the usual 30%. To put this into perspective, let's say S&P 500 pays a dividend yield of 1.2% and you have invested $100,000 into a US domiciled ETF like VOO. With a 30% dividend withholding tax, you'll be paying $360 in taxes every single year. This is huge, because with this amount of money, it will be more than enough to buy 70 plates of chicken rice. And this is just $100,000, yeah? The more you invest, the higher the dividend withholding tax. That's why a better alternative is to invest in an Ireland domiciled ETF. That way, instead of getting slapped with a 30% dividend withholding tax, you get slapped with a much lower 15% dividend withholding tax. Yes, it's still painful, but it's much better than paying the full 30% tax. Second, by going for Ireland domiciled ETF, you get to avoid estate tax after you pass away. Oh, sorry, not you. I mean, whoever gets to inherit your investments will get to avoid paying the estate tax after you pass away. That's because when you pass away, your US domiciled investments that's more than $60,000 will be subjected to up to 40% estate tax, which takes away a huge chunk of your portfolio. Meanwhile, Ireland does not apply its estate tax to non-Irish residents. So what's yours will be yours to keep. So if you ignore the US domiciled ETFs and only go for Ireland domiciled ETFs, you'll be left with just these 4 ETFs. From here, we can then choose our ETFs based on 3 things. The expense ratio, where the lower it is, the lower management fees that you will have to pay. Total net assets, where the higher it is, the better bid-ask spread it will have, as well as how the ETF handles its dividends. Does it distribute the dividends, or does it reinvest the dividends back into itself? Based on this criteria, both CSPX and SPYL will stand out. CSPX because it has the highest total net assets, which means better bid-ask spread, and it automatically accumulates its dividends so that the capital can continue to work without any delay. Meanwhile, SPYL has the lowest expense ratio at 0.03%, and it also reinvests its dividends. So now that we have found our ETFs, let's look at which is the best broker to invest in them next. Here, out of all the brokers that we have in Singapore, I've shortlisted just Interactive Brokers and FSMOne. That's because both of them have access to the UK market, which lets you buy Ireland domiciled ETFs. But more importantly, they support the regular savings plan. This is super important, not just because it lets you automatically dollar cost average into your investments, but also because when you use regular savings plan, you will get to save on some fees. For IBKR, if you do not have enough US dollar, they will help you auto-convert your currency to the dollar. That way, you will get to avoid paying the 2 US dollar currency conversion fee. As for SFM1, they have a promotion which lets you enjoy 0% processing fee when you use their ETF regular savings plan. Now, while they say that this is just a promotion, it has been around since 2021 and they've been extending it every year due to popular demand. So it is very likely that they will keep this around for as long as they can. Next, I want to point out a few things. One, while SPYL is an Ireland domiciled ETF, Interactive Brokers only has the one that is in the EBS Swiss Stock Exchange, and as you will see later, it will have a slightly different fee as compared to the London Stock Exchange. 2. FSMOne has SPYL on the London Stock Exchange, but unfortunately, it doesn't support RSP, which means if you wish to invest in SPYL via a normal buy order, it will be subjected to a much higher 0.15% fee with a minimum of 15 global British pound. Because of that, I won't be considering FSMOne's SPYL here. Next, as mentioned earlier, if you use Interactive Broker's recurring investment plan to invest, there won't be any currency conversion fee. Not just that, IBKR won't have any FX loss, as their exchange rates are practically the same as Google's. In contrast, while FSMOne doesn't charge any currency conversion fee, from my test, they have a 0.3% FX loss whenever you convert your currency. Next, when you use the recurring investment plan to invest, IBKR charges a 0.05% fee with a minimum of $1.70, whereas FSMOne has 0% processing fees. However, when it comes to clearing fees, SPYL, which is listed on the EBS exchange, will have a much higher 150 Swiss francs, which is equivalent to about $1.70 US dollar and an additional 0.015% fee. Interestingly, I didn't notice this clearing fee prior to this because from my earlier tests, both my CSBX and SPYL purchase on IBKR had almost the same fees, which consisted of $1.70 trading fee and 15 cents third-party fees. But for some reason, some of my viewers were charged with this higher clearing fee. So if you put all these fees together, you will end up with this chart. What you will see is that if you are investing just $500 US dollars, investing in CSBX via FSMOne will have the lowest total fee of just $1.51, followed by IBKR CSBX at $2.29. After that, investing in CSBX via IBKR will consistently have the lowest fees. Which brings us to the question, given that SPYL has a higher trading fee but lower expense ratio, when does it make sense to invest in SPYL then? So here I've plotted a second chart. You can see that the bigger your investment amount, the lesser number of years before the total cost of investing in SPYL becomes cheaper than CSPX. So for example, if you invested just $500 US dollars, it will take you 12 plus years to break even. But if you invested $4,000 US dollars, it will take you less than 2 years to break even. What this means is that even though the initial cost of investing in SPYL via IBKR is higher, since most of us will be investing in the S&P 500 over long periods of time anyway, SPYL is still the cheapest over the long term. Also, here's a quick side note. Even though FSMOne charges 0% processing fee for RSP, if you do decide to eventually sell, you will still need to pay a 0.15% fee with a minimum of $20 US dollars. If you don't have an IBKR or FSMOne account yet, you can sign up using my links down below. Otherwise, if you need a quick tutorial on how to set up a recurring investment plan into SPYL via IBKR, you can check out this video here. Hope you found this useful. Like, share and subscribe as I'll be posting new videos every Monday, Wednesday and Friday.